Hi, guys.
All right, welcome everyone to our Tuesday training call. My name is Ashley Thompson. I'm a Senior Ruby Ambassador, and tonight we have a special guest that is taking time out of his busy night to share some great tips. We have Justin Grant. He is a Plexus Ambassador, and he's from Atlanta, Georgia. He is the CEO of Branding Mafia, which he's going to talk to us a little bit more about tonight and how to brand yourself in social media. But it's a marketing and branding company for any business and MLM. And you may know him by his hilarious posts on Facebook that we all share. So, Justin, I'll let you start. Do you want to start with just telling us how you found Plexus and why you love it and why you promote it?
Sure. I'd be more than happy to. So like she said, my name is Justin Grant. I actually kind of fell into Plexus. My wife had started being an ambassador, and being the supportive husband that I am, I was liking and commenting on her statuses to bump them toward the top of the feeds. And as I would do that, people started kind of adding me, and I guess maybe they thought they were going to try to sell me some Plexus. And so they added me, and as time went on, the more people that added me, I started seeing a pattern in their posting habits. And the pattern kind of was really the same thing. And so I figured, hey, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to play around with it some. I'll post a few funny videos, funny statuses, and kind of subliminally market it. I started gaining customers that way. And then people wanted to sign. But then about 3 or 4 months later, more people wanted advice on how to do that. A little bit of my background. I started my first company when I was 18 years old. And then time went on. I ended up actually selling that company. Started with a trucking company, and we had $1,500. And now we are a $7 million company, all because of branding and marketing. Then I started Branding Mafia because the more people that I was helping brand and market themselves, I wasn't really getting paid for it, and I was spending more time doing that than I was actually making money and trying to run my company. So that's kind of how Branding Mafia was started. And the reason that I said I saw a lot of the same posting habits from network marketers is it's a lot of copy and paste. And I noticed that, and it really ate at me. And I saw that if I can catch that, so can everyone else. You have a lot of competition. And to be able to have like a successful trucking company, to have a successful branding and marketing company, to have a successful network marketing company, you have to give your audience something that no one else can. You have to find your X factor. You have to be able to do something that nobody else can do and do it better. And so as time went on, helping these people, learning about them, I learned that everybody has something they can teach someone. And we call that content. You can provide valuable content to other people, and they will love it. Now, everybody listening, including myself, knows how hard it is to get people to like and comment on your Plexus statuses. One of the hardest things I've ever done. But when you're kind of subliminally pushing it, people don't realize what you're doing. They begin to fall in love with your goal of signing them to your team or creating a customer that way. Unfortunately, I have also noticed that there are a lot of people who are well up in Plexus, as well as other MLMs that I have had to learn about, as you know, the people, their clients. I've learned that a lot of people that are really high up are high up in the company because of early entry. They didn't have as much competition, and they became, I think Unique calls their people black labels, things like that. They go triple black. That is like our triple diamond or double black. A lot of the times, the reason those people are that high up is because, like I said, they're early entry. They didn't have as much competition. And they tell people, just keep sharing, keep sharing. People are watching, people are listening. And that is true. That is very true. You have to keep sharing your story, your journey, the information about the products, the opportunity, because it's not going to pique their interest without it. But then a lot of people see the salesy side of it. A lot of times we tell other ambassadors, we're not salespeople, we're shares people. Well, yeah, we are, but you have to know how to sell. If you don't know how to sell, you can't close the deal unless they are just die hard. I love the products, I love the opportunity, I've got to have it. A lot of people are going to tell you that you can't do this. You can't succeed. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a scam. They're going to take your money. They only want to sign you, you know, all that. Over time of hearing that, though, if you're not providing people the right and the necessary content, you're going to believe it because you're not going to succeed. People are going to tell you. I was talking to a potential client the other day. Excuse me. The other day, she ended up signing to become a client of Branding Mafias, and she sought advice from a higher up, and they said, you don't need to brand yourself. You don't need to market yourself because Plexus is your brand. I'm like, okay, well, think about this for a minute. Can you use that logo any way you want? As of a couple of months ago, and if you guys got the same email that I did, you can't even create a domain name with Plexus in it. You can't have a hashtag with Plexus in it. Well, you can have a hashtag, but if they wanted to get really crazy with their trademark rights, they could take that away from you too. So you need to create some kind of a brand that merges well with Plexus but provides more content than what Plexus has to offer. That is audience appeal. That is going to bring these people in and fall in love with you. Selling them on the products, you have to build the rapport. But the ambassador, the Diamond, I'll say it, told her that she didn't need to do that. Well, unfortunately, you do. She became a client, but a lot of times these people think, well, I did it without having to brand and market myself. I didn't have to create a brand. I didn't need to do anything like this. I just shared the products and it worked for me. You're told that same thing over and over again. Again, that early entry. There are currently 20.2 million Americans who are associated with a network marketing company. If it keeps growing at the rate it's growing at and has been for the last 3 years, there's going to be 22.5 million network marketers. And the way Plexus is growing, they can make up that difference themselves. But there will be 22.5 million network marketers in 2016. That's not even your biggest competition. Your biggest competition is cat videos, pictures of people sharing on their family vacations. They see that scrolling up and down their news feeds all day. What are you doing to stand out? But when you're being told consistently by people, you don't need to do this, again, you begin to believe it. There's a story I like to tell. It's the baby elephant. And some of you may have heard it. But when a circus brings in a new elephant, they bring it in as a baby and they begin to train it. And how they train it is they take this large, really long steel rod and they run it deep into the ground with a heavy chain attached to it, and they wrap it around the elephant. And the elephant tugs and it jerks and jumps and does everything it can to get away from it. And eventually it just gives up. The elephant grows, the chain gets bigger. But then when the elephant gets big enough that it's actually in the circus, they take the steel rod and the chain away. They take a stick and they put it in the ground with a really small piece of rope that is just heavy enough for the elephant to feel it. The elephant doesn't run. It doesn't try to pull that stake out of the ground because it has been conditioned to believe that it can't do it. It is allowing that glass ceiling to take place over it. There's nowhere for it to go. There are so many other places that you can go just really by believing. But when you go to create your own content, when you go to create your brand, ask yourself how we do it with Branding Mafia. We really get to know our people. We ask them, you know, what are your skills? What are your passions? What are your goals? What message do you want to convey to other people? And we take that and we say, okay, you sound like you could really do this. Is that something that you feel, is that content that you believe that you can share and advise others on? Are you a pro at that, those experiences in your life? I've got clients all the way from convicted felons to just moms who are really good at life hacks and they are great cooks. They have that content. Every one of you have something you can teach other people. So when we talk about branding, we talk about the 3 C's of branding. That is clarity, consistency, and constancy. Clarity, very simple. People have to know who you are, what you're about. Constancy, you have to always be there. I'm not sure how many of you guys are on my friends list, but, you know, Ashley could probably tell you my smiling mug is probably popping up consistently on Facebook all the time because there are days I don't want to post. There are days, there are times where I'm like, man, I haven't made a video in 2 weeks, but I have to. And so I do. You guys, I'm sure, feel the same exact way. But to be constant. You have to constantly post. You have to always be there. Being consistent in your brand. There are so many ambassadors that talk about the health benefits of Plexus, and then the very next post, it's a picture of them smoking a cigarette or dancing on a tabletop at a bar, drinking, and so contradicting. You can't be contradicting because, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, when you're a brand, you have to maintain that brand. You have to stick with it. When we create brands, we give everybody a brand book, and that tells you how many pixels you're allowed your logo to be because it has to remain consistent. You have to use the colors you chose are the only colors that you need to use. Nike does it. Adobe has the craziest branding standards of anyone else. They are one of the most consistent brands because if there is ever a flaw, people won't trust you. You're the brand. You don't want to lose the trust of your potential clients or customers. A lot of times we jump into trying to sell people on something way too soon. I have received messages from people earlier this week, or late last week, somebody wanting to sell me Plexus. And I'm thinking, do you not see anything I post, or did you at least go to my page and scroll and look and, see something? You got to build rapport. When you're trying to sell somebody something, get to know them. I never pitch Plexus the first probably 10 or 12 messages between me and someone. I just start talking to them. And we build the rapport, and you'd be surprised how many times when you just start talking to someone, they're going to bring it up because they've seen it, because you've been sharing. But then you have to know how to sell. But when you're building the brand, I know I'm probably getting off topic on that part because of there's so much more that goes into this. But branding is something, think about it like this. You have to brand yourself or someone else will for you. If you don't have a goal, you don't say, this is what I want my brand to be. This is what I want to provide to my audience. People are going to just get the idea that you're trying to make $1 off of them, selling them some, in their mind, crappy health and wellness products that everybody else sells. That's not the case. You're able to actually help them, get to know them, build the trust. Branding is also a lot of times it's mistaken with marketing or advertising, which are all three completely different things. Branding is the pull. It pulls people in. They see you. They see, how many times have you walked by a store and just looked at that store and said, I've went by that store in 3 different places in the last couple of years, and it just really looks cool. I'm going to go in there and check out what they have. The reason why is the branding, because you remembered it because you saw it here 6 months ago. You saw it here 3 months before that. That's where the branding is. The marketing is the push method. It pushes people out the door with your product. Good branding, good marketing, that is the difference in people putting a line through your name than under your name. You have to be able to provide every bit of this to them. Staying transparent. You have to remain transparent. You need to be on all social media platforms, whether you use them or not. Another thing we do is we help people create a name. Now think about this for a minute. I'm gonna give you an example. Say I own a company called ABC Company. I tell you, go follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/we are the ABC Company. Instagram. You can find me at Instagram at ABCCO123. Snapchat is we are the ABC 67849. How many of you really remembered anything I said? Or you can find me on all social media platforms at ABC Company or abccompany.com. You've got to have, again, that consistency. That is where the good branding is. And then you need to provide the personal content and mix it with Plexus. It doesn't have to be salesy. I have never used a graphic unless I create it myself and it's some crazy, just off the wall and insanely, you think that I'm on drugs or something, which I'm not. But you see that and you're like, well, this guy, he's not trying to sell me anything. And I guess I went for that brand of too funny to unfriend, because I want people to view what I have to say is valuable enough not to want to delete me. And that's one of the biggest problems that everybody has. They get deleted. They get ignored. There's been people telling me, I'm sure even Chris McCall, Celeste, well, I'm still going to be on your friends list. I'm still going to follow you, but I have hidden everything you post because I don't care. I'm not interested in buying. So you have to set yourself apart. Be the face of the company. Ask yourself what your passions are. What are you good at? What is it that you can provide to people? And build up a content list. Of course, we can help you with that, but you're a brand already. You just got to rebrand where people feel that you're valuable. Do not become salesy. The salesy approach, something that I don't like. And I was told this the other day by someone. They said they were on a call. Someone told them to just message people. Just message someone and say, hey, look, I've been praying about building my team and your name keeps coming across, through my mind. And I just really wanted to reach out to you. Okay. Reaching out, don't reach out. Never reach out. I hate the word reach out. Checking in, don't check in. You're not at a doctor's office. Don't touch base with people. You're not playing baseball. You want to give them a reason to respond. If you reach out to somebody, reach out and say, hey, I just want to touch base with you. I sent you a message the other day. You never really responded to me. So they're going to say, well, there's really not a reason for your message. There's not a reason for me to respond. I like holding people to it. When I first start talking to them, I will say, hey, when's the next best time for me and you to talk? I'm going to give you some time to think about it if they want time to think about it. If you can close them right then, close them right then. But you become known. You're not pushy. You're not salesy. You're just genuine. You're just talking. You're building that friendship. You're building that rapport. But it all comes down to the branding. There are so many other 437,000 or 473,000 ambassadors, one of the two that we have. I would say 99.9% are very salesy. They post graphics. Create your own stuff. Create your own content. Be genuine. Be authentic. Be real. Be personable. People love that. They don't want to constantly see the same graphic. Come up with a name if you want to do it on your own. Come up with a name. Something that's going to reflect who you are. Stay true to it. Consistently post and always have some kind of value to provide to people. They're going to fall in love with you. Again, it all goes back to that because you, again, are the brand. Videos, things like that, pictures. I can't tell you how many times I log into someone's Facebook Live and I want to show my support. First thing out of their mouth is, I want to get on here and tell you guys about how great the products are. They're amazing products, and it's like, this was a mistake. I'm here for 15 minutes, and I can't leave because I'm here to show my support. Go you. Me and this other person's watching you. You had 8. Not anymore. You want to talk. Just talk. Talk to them. Ask them, hey, guys, I'm just checking in. It's Monday. Have the drink in your hand. Just take a drink of it. You'd be surprised, again, at the amount of people who are just going to ask you, what is that pink drink? You didn't used to go to the gym. We've known each other for 10 years, man. You were eating donuts beside me. But now you're at the gym right now? What's in that drink? Again, they're going to ask. Their interest is going to be piqued, but you never want them to feel like they're being sold anything. It all comes down to good branding, good marketing. If you think about it, and I know that I'm getting close to the end of my time, but there's so much more of this that goes into it, but think of NASCAR drivers. I don't know how many NASCAR fans we have, but when they get done with a race, what do you always see them do? It's label out the Coke, the Gatorade, the Monster Energy, whatever it is, and they will name drop better than anyone, but they don't sound like they're trying to sell anything. And some people's branding is so good that they don't even have to advertise. Think about, Rolls-Royce, Spanx, Krispy Kreme. You know them. They've never actually spent a dime on advertising or marketing because they don't have to. Their brand is so good, you will never find a commercial for Krispy Kreme or any of them. You will never find a billboard or an ad in a magazine trying to promote their products because they are just that good. They can do it without it. You need to be known as the Plexus girl, the Plexus guy. That's my go-to right there because, hey, you can't sleep at night. I know just the person. Check them out. They're not going to try to sell you anything. They're going to get to know you. They're going to build a relationship with you. Do that. Every one of you have something that you can teach someone else. Mine just happened to be acting goofy and sharing Facebook statuses and making dumb off the wall videos. But I actually can give business advice, surprisingly. A lot of people never guess that. But share, but sell. You have to sell because you are, at the end of the day, you're a salesperson. But share, pique the interest, give them something that no one else can. Think about what it is you're good at. What is something that you have experienced in your life that you can advise other people on? What are you a pro at? And then come up with the best way to market it. Don't copy and paste statuses. If I ever see a status I like, I change it. And I don't even share it right then because there are so many. Again, remember, there's 20.2 million other network marketers out there. Be that person that they can look at and say, hey, they sell these products, but they're just a cool person. And I've learned so much off the recipes they've posted or the life hacks they've posted, or they've helped me cope with the loss of a loved one because they went through the same thing. Whatever it is, you can teach someone something. Build off of that, create something great from it. So we can, I know, like I said, there's so much more stuff that goes with this. I could probably talk for 6 or 8 hours on how to do this. We're actually writing a program right now, a 90-day program, and I'm 30-something thousand words into it, and I'm about a third of the way finished with it. But it can't be covered in a night. So I know that Ashley said something about asking questions. So if there's any questions that you guys do have that maybe I didn't go over as much or something else that you're wondering about, feel free to ask me. I'm here all night.
All right, I'll unmute everyone. I just want to first say how many of you all are like, all right, I did that. You know, the copying, pasting. I've started to, if I really like a post, I'll copy it and save it in the notes section of my phone, and I'll save it for a few months later and then make it my own. But, you know, I think when people are new, it's hard to say, yes, you need to brand yourself and whatnot. So sometimes we do let people copy our posts, but the thing is to really treat if you're brand new, treat your Facebook like a journal, or, you know, be real and vulnerable, like he said. But I love it because even though people in the uplines may say you don't need to brand yourself, well, Sarah Marble doesn't say that, but look at her brand. She's our upline. And Sarah Marble has an amazing brand. I mean, she's become a teacher and educator, and she has done that, maybe without even knowing it. But and then a lot of the diamonds I look at, if you go to their page, they are coming up with their own stuff, their own personal videos. Like I love Emily Roberts. Like she gives so much value. And I think the key word there is value. Like what value are you giving? So I thought that was great. So let me unmute y'all and see. So it might get loud. If you can mute yourself again if you don't want to say anything. But who's got questions? Don't be shy.
I guess I would just ask the question of, where do you come up with inspiration for new and engaging posts? And I mean, you want to be yourself, but sometimes, you know, you just wake up and you go, what the heck am I going to even post about today? And it's just difficult to do that.
What I would ask myself, what have I went through in the last 24 hours that someone else may find value in? How can I twist something that I have seen before that might appeal to other people? It's going to come down to the authenticity of your own life because, again, you are your own brand. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics. You may have seen a lot of my Olympic posts that I've made if you follow me. That's really where it's just what are you doing at the time? What is something that you've went through somebody else? And there's times, I'm not going to lie, I've had those days too, where some days I'm just so busy that I can't sit around and think of anything inspirational or funny, or I go to a few websites, I search for something, I post it. You know, the internet is never ending. There's always something, you can find, but just based off of something you have went through, someone you know has went through something. It can be funny, it could be lighthearted, it could be anything. If you cook something new the other night, say, hey, I just tried this the other night. This is great, and it's healthy and all, twist it. However, twist it to benefit you. And it actually becomes easy when you start looking at it like that.
Thanks, Justin.
No problem.
And Tina and Kevin, you guys are so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, you are like the Plexus fun social couple. You should really, that would be a good branding for you, because you were just, you've done the little pink and martini and Plexus parties, and you have fun and show how much fun you've been able to have.
That's really good input, Ashley. I thank you for that. Because you know what? Sometimes you're just sort of like, well, I don't want to come across like a drunk, or I don't want to, I don't know. That is kind of what comes natural to us in terms of doing like a launch party. Okay, cocktails, conversations, whatever. And sometimes you can get so serious about the business that you think I can't be myself. And that becomes hard.
Always be yourself. Don't lose sight of who you are, because that is who they're buying into. They're buying into you before they're buying into your product or opportunity. So never let anyone tell you to sway from who you are. The only two things that I don't post about is politics and religion, just because it's so controversial, but everything else is fair game. Never lose focus and never lose sight of who you are. Don't be ashamed of it.
Thank you. That's great input.
Anyone else? Don't be shy. You can put it in the chat box too if you want. I have a question while we're waiting. How isn't there a 5,000 friend limit on your Facebook page? Yes.
Yeah, there is. Unfortunately, I wish they wouldn't do that.
I noticed you have 4,999 friends. So if you want to be his last friend, hurry quick.
Go on at me.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how to get your posts. When you make a good creative post, how to get it seen more in the newsfeed.
So a lot of you have probably been hit by the new algorithm change, and Facebook is all about algorithms. We were so close to cracking the last one, where I was putting up just off the wall stuff and getting 250 likes on it, and it didn't mean anything to anyone. It was like, yo, and that was it. They changed it, and everybody's taking a major beating. It all comes down to the engagement. People will, when you post something, there's going to be accounts that are going to like it. And as they like it, they start building the connection between your account and their account. And they automatically, when you update, Facebook will kind of launch you up toward the top of their feed. But if you're constantly posting things that aren't getting likes, shares, or comments, then that's where Facebook looks and says, well, they're not providing valuable content. They have 500, 1,000, whatever friends, and every post is averaging 2 likes. It's not very valuable, so therefore they're going to knock it down to everyone else's. That's again where the brand has to come in, where you're providing the valuable content, this is getting the engagement. You may have noticed someone that was on your friends list and you started seeing less and less of their stuff, and then nothing. You got to go and search for them. I guarantee you, if that's ever happened, go and look back and see what kind of engagement. How many times have you liked their stuff? Probably not much at all, because they wouldn't have fallen off if you had. Every time that people start liking and commenting, they just keep you toward the top if it's a lot. That's what you want. You want that loyal following where people are automatically, because of the Facebook algorithm, you're automatically going straight to the top as soon as you post. Unfortunately, like I said, it has changed a lot lately, but you can get that back. You just have to promote the engagement. Because without the engagement, it just takes time.
Okay, so prior to the other, the way it used to be, we would ask our fellow Plexus people, hey, go like and comment on my posts. So is that still helping? Or, if you did that, plus go to your prospects or the people that you would really love to see your posts and comment on their things.
You can, well, of course, by commenting or liking other people's stuff, it does have a minor value added to it. but it has a bigger value if they come to you. Now, liking each other's stuff that's great. Keep doing that, because again, the more likes and shares that the algorithm is seeing, the more value they say that you have. So they're going to, bump you toward the top. I would, here's one for you. Like your own statuses. I know that sounds weird. Yeah, I had to overcome it because I was like, I'm giving myself a high five here, and it wasn't even that great. But what it's doing is allowing your status or your picture to be shown in two different places. If you've ever been on, well, I know you have, you've been on a laptop and you see on the right side where it's got the activity feed, and it says so-and-so liked this, shared this, commented on that, replied to this. They're going to see that because on the mobile version, there's that as well. And when you post something, they're going to see it up in their news feed. But then when you like it, anyone that's looking at that, and I was amazed at the amount of people who actually did, they're updated again that you liked something. It was your own status, but who really cares? They're seeing it in two different places. It really does actually, it works. I've sat there for 3 or 4 minutes before and started watching my likes kind of crawl. I hit the like button and they skyrocket, and it's weird how it works, but it does.
Interesting. All right. Like your own stuff. Love it. I'll give myself a wow. All right. Anyone else?
I just get people who will like it, but I can't get them to comment, even in the posting, if I say, who's with me or who else has this, and they'll like it, but then I don't get any comments. Yeah. Any advice on how to get them to comment back?
To start building the rapport with people to get the comments initially, what I like to do is I'll create these little graphics and something like, show me your tattoos, post the last selfie you took, what are you looking at right now? And people will start posting that because people love to talk about themselves. So get them talking about themselves. Once you start doing that, it's like it opens up, it breaks the ice. If you've never talked to that person through comments or something like that, it breaks the ice and they will start coming to you. Now, if, say, you want them to comment on a Plexus post and you've never really talked before, comment on their stuff. Another thing is wish everyone a happy birthday every single day. Just check, see whose birthdays are there, and post on the wall. It helps with the algorithm. It's another icebreaker. Ask questions that would pertain to people. Who didn't sleep well last night? Who slept well last night? Just, I guess, come up and make it your own. Just anything that you feel like, because you're going to have to know your following as well as them knowing you. So what do you think they would comment on? What do you usually see them sharing the majority of the time? What pertains to everyone that you could post up and you're like, you throw out the fishing line, they take the bait, and you're like, gotcha. And you can pull them in. That's what I would do starting. But if you're wanting to just build the comments to grab that massive algorithm value, just say, hey, post a picture of your favorite tattoo, or what are you looking at right now? Snap a picture of whatever's in front of you. Some of you don't want to see that, but do it anyway. Anything to just get the communication going back and forth, and that'll build the trust.
Thank you.
That's awesome. All right. Anyone else?
I guess one of the things that I was sort of thinking about is, do you have to, I guess, obviously we're all Plexus people. Do you have to maintain a consistency with all Plexus things, or is it really good to try to bring in another area of interest? I mean, granted, I realize that we all shouldn't just post Plexus things all the time, and you have to do a little bit more of your personality and what have you, but I get a little bit, I don't know, confused about how much should we be, I guess, what should be the ratio of Plexus to other things. Okay, for instance, we have a new hedgehog. Okay, I can post about a hedgehog, and people actually really like seeing the hedgehog and what he's doing and all of that kind of stuff. It's engaging, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily incorporating anything with Plexus in that. And I'm just trying to figure out how much should I be doing of each.
So that's exactly what we do. So I'll give you a really quick 20 seconds of how Branding Mafia works. People come in, again, we learn what their passions are, what their skills are, what kind of valuable content they can provide other people. Something that can be merged with Plexus. It can be anything, as long as it is just somewhat easily mergeable, or we can just do it, we figure out the way. Then we figure out the marketing approach on how we're going to do this, lay out the content. What is it you're good at? Why are you good at that? How does it coincide with Plexus? Same thing with this topic. Same thing with this topic. Now, this is your topic. You say you're a good cook. Prove it to me. Are you going to burn water when you go to boil it? Or show me your best, recipe. How easy is it? And that's how we begin building that. Then we merge it with Plexus. After we merge with Plexus, that's where we lay out the plan. We come up with your name. It's going to be consistent, available everywhere. A logo if you need it, which is covered. And we go all the way through this entire process. We build up to a launch date, and then we just hit them in the face with it like, bam, you've never seen recipes like this before. You've never seen life hacks like this before. And then I tell people, make something that will merge with Plexus, that will support Plexus. It's not going to contradict it. Stay true to it. And if you post, I'd say healthy is 5 posts a day. No more than 2 should be Plexus. I go with not even 1 a day, but mainly because I want to come up with something and post it, and it continue to just get hit for days on end. That doesn't always work, but I would say 1 to 2, no more than 2. Don't post too often either, because if you post too often and it's not receiving a lot of engagement, that hurts your algorithm. That knocks you down in the newsfeed. That's another negative against you. So I'd say a 2 to 5 ratio max. And also gear your post toward for the East Coast, because 50% of America lives on the East. They live in the Eastern time zone. 30% live in Central time zone. So you have 80% in a 1 hour time window. Appeal to that market. That's the biggest one. Go after them.
Okay, that's such good information, because, I feel like a lot of times what some of my friends have said to me is, okay, I appreciate learning about Plexus from you, but I can't see me doing what you're doing. And I think part of that is because they see me posting on Facebook more than what they feel comfortable with. And it makes them feel like I can never do that because you're putting yourself out there too much. And I feel like I'm really, really trying to find this happy medium of what is enough that people see it and what is too much that we're in their face and we're cramming it down their throat.
Share your experiences. I would say twice a day. Share a good experience sometime between the time you wake up and noon. Then mix in personal things, the hedgehog, new dress you bought, you're planning this trip, whatever it is that people are going to find value in. Later that night, share another personal Plexus post, something that's your experience. Again, it doesn't have to be the same Edge advertisement that I have seen God knows how many times. Come up with something on your own. I'm not going to say go against compliance and create your own graphics and post them. But if you follow me, you've seen that I have done it. I've never gotten in trouble. But again, I'm not going to urge you to do that. But just be authentic. Put out original information. Just share your own experiences. If you slept great on Plexus, hey, you slept great. Take a picture of your food. It's an appetite suppressant. If you sit down and eat dinner one night and you are only halfway through eating, they don't need to know that you're going to eat the other half of what's on your plate. Take a picture of it and say, man, I used to be able to eat this entire thing and I can't do it anymore, guys. That's great. Okay, I'm going to finish food. You don't have, I say be genuine, be authentic, be transparent, but also be marketable. They don't need to know everything. But use whatever it takes, do whatever it takes. You're building a business. Do whatever it takes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your input.
You're very welcome.
Skip the Krispy Kreme donut run. Don't post that.
I wouldn't post that, no. And depending on what you're eating, I don't know if I'd even say I ate half of it, but you know what I mean.
Got it. Well, thank you. We're over time. So homework for y'all. What's your brand? What's your passion, your interests, and create your own brand. And maybe even put it in your about section on your Facebook, what's right underneath your profile picture. Provide value, make your own posts, be vulnerable, do videos if you can, and start building your relationships. If you haven't followed Justin on Facebook, Justin Grant, and he has Branding Mafia on Facebook. And anything else, way to contact you or get to your website?
Yeah, the website is brandingmafia.com. You can send me an email, justin@brandingmafia.com. And real quick on the videos, if you do videos, do videos. If you don't do videos, do videos, because they promote transparency. People are going to engage in that. They're going to build more trust in you because you're not hiding behind text. They love videos.
Awesome. I did a live one the other day, and it took me like 3 days to do it. So I was like, I can do it on our team page, no problem. And I'm just like, whatever. And then I get in front of my Facebook group and I'm like sweating. I'm nervous, but I did it finally. I was proud.
All right. And anyone, if you want to learn any aspect really of what this whole business is about, sales training, we do video training, all of that, you can go to brandingmafia.com. You'll see a lot of, pretty much everything that we have to offer, and check that out.
Awesome. Will do. All right. Thanks, Justin. And thank you everyone for jumping on, and y'all have a good night. Go Plexus.
Thank you so much.